certain times.
Will be back, of course, tomorrow with the Maritimes again, playing the Prairies, the Edmonton team. So I hope you'll tune in for that. So from Optimus Park in Stony Creek, you've been watching the Canadian Little League Championships, and today's game, 3-1 for Orleans, Ontario over the Glace Bay Colonels. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm Brad Riome. For Bob Barlow, so long from Stony Creek. Welcome to Optimus Park in Stony Creek. This is the 1990 Canadian Little League Championships. I'm Brad Riome along with Bob Barlow, bringing you today's action in the game between Edmonton and Glace Bay. Bob, this is a big, big game.
Very big game for Glace Bay as far as they're concerned. This is their 4th consecutive trip to the national finals, and I don't think they've ever found themselves in this situation. They're 0-2 right now, and a loss today will pretty well eliminate any chance whatsoever to make it to that national championship game on Saturday afternoon. And they're going to be up against a tough competitor. Pitching for the Edmonton team today is Jason Lorenz. He's the young fella who in their first district championship game, July 14th, against Jasper, in a 22-0 win, he pitched a perfect game, including 18 strikeouts. He struck out the side from 1 through 6. So Glace Bay is up against the wall today.
A pitcher with a perfect game, 18 strikeouts in a 6-inning Little League game, is on the hill right now. They are the home team, designated the home team in this game. That's Edmonton out of Confederation Park, and representing the Prairies. They'll face Glace Bay, team we saw yesterday lose to Ontario 3-1. Let's go through the defense here for Edmonton quickly. Jason Lorenz, the pitcher. He'll be throwing to his battery mate, Darren Van Owen, behind the plate. First base is Nick Gerke. Second base is Trevor Deeks. The shortstop is Jared Powley. And at third base, it's Tom Zavoduk. The left fielder is Jordan Smith. The center fielder, Ben Bagnall. And the right fielder is Byron Scott. And he'll be facing a lineup from Glace Bay that leads off with Steve McNeil, the left fielder. Goes to Gary Skinner, the center fielder. Then Jeff Maxner, the pitcher for today's game. Be followed by Billy Gracie, Robert Piercy, Chris White, Jody Pilling, who pitched yesterday's game, Ricky Kelly, and the bottom of the Glace Bay order is Steve Gillard, the catcher. Well, let's see if we can key in here on Jason Lorenz, number 33. What kind of stuff has he got, Bob?
Well, I'm told he throws a lot of high, hard ones, but watching him warm up a little bit here, he throws a little bit of junk. He has a very compact motion. He uses a lot of his body weight to advance. He's a hefty fella for a 12-year-old kid, and I'm told he can throw the high heater up in the high 60s, and for a 12-year-old kid, I can't throw it in the 60s.
Well, let's quickly go through the umpires. The plate umpire is George Benton today. Down at first base is Steve Meyer. At second base is Mark Baxter. And the third base umpire is Wes Snyder. That sets things up for you here, and we're getting ready with the first pitch to Steve McNeil, the leadoff hitter for the Glace Bay Colonels representing the Maritimes. McNeil didn't play for Glace Bay yesterday.
No doubt manager Boudelier making a few lineup changes to try and rally the troops somewhat.
Well, they lacked a certain amount of offense yesterday, only scoring 1 run. Obviously, they're looking for some more. McNeil in there, 0-1. That evens up the count.
Edmonton rained out again last night, so consequently they've only played 1 game in this tournament. They were due to play Stony Creek late last night, and before we threw the first pitch, we had a torrential downpour again. But here we are this morning with them.
There's the high, hard one, just like you said. 2 strikes to the hitter McNeil. That's down low. 2-2. Lawrence really does take his time in between pitches, eh, Bob?
He has 20 seconds once he receives the ball to release it again. And Jason certainly takes full advantage of that. You'll see him during the day, especially when he starts to struggle a little bit. If all he does, he'll wander around the mound a little bit. He'll take his time. He uses it to his full advantage. And we had a timer on him the one day that he started.
That's popped up. And the right fielder settles under it. That's Byron Scott. Collects the ball in for the first out. Oh, the perfect game is all shot.
At least as far as the AT&Ks are concerned.
That's right.
Batting number 5, the center fielder, Gary Skinner.
That ball was upstairs too, I think.
Yeah, and it was an excellent play by Steve McNeil. He followed through with it properly. He went with the pitch and made a nice hit. Made an out, but still made nice contact.
As Lawrence adjusts his shoelace for Gary Skinner, the center fielder, the second place hitter here for Glace Bay. Here in the top of the first inning at Optimus Park in Stony Creek. And that just misses. Looks like he tried to start him off with a changeup.
Some type of changeup or a possible attempt at a curve.
There's the heater. Fouled off by Gary Skinner. If these guys start to time it, it could be an interesting game.
If they could, Gary was just behind it there by maybe a second, consequently fouling it back.
The 1-1 pitch is low. Two balls, one strike to Gary Skinner. Skinner was 1 for 3 yesterday with a single to right field. I don't know if he'll be able to pull Jason Lawrence today, though, the Edmonton pitcher. That evens it up at 2-2.
I don't know if you'll see anybody. Maybe by the 5th or 6th inning you might see somebody begin to pull it, but I don't think we'll see anybody pulling his pitches today.
Skinner waits for the 2-2 pitch. That was a changeup, that's for sure.
Still about 8 feet short of the plate.
Bounced
If that
short.
close.
The distance here between the plate and the pitcher, 46 feet in Little League. The bases are 60 feet apart. Basically everything's 2/3 the size of regulation baseball. The lines are only 200 all the way around. There's the full count pitch. There's ball 4. That puts Skinner down to first base with the walk and brings up Jeff Maxner, today's pitcher for the Glace Bay Colonels. Saw Maxner in batting practice prior to the game. Whoa, he was pounding the ball.
See the pitcher, again a compact pitch, he just simply loses it. Trying to throw a little too hard and way down and in. On a full count pitch, you can't miss by that much.
Maxner, a left-handed hitter. He took a lot of batting practice this morning.
Well, he hit the ball not too bad yesterday also. Again, down at third base, I was a little disappointed in how he got flat-footed a couple times, but I think he was 1 for 3 yesterday, hitting the ball fairly well.
You're right, 1 for 3 with a single to right, and he hit the ball pretty hard. You're exactly right. A long fly ball out to left to lead off the game. There's a strike, 1-1. 1 out. This is the second place hitter, Jeff Maxner, the third place hitter. one misses by a long way. 2 balls, 1 strike. I'd really hate to see Jason Lorentz pitching to Carlton Fisk. Knowing Fisk, he might still be around, but that might be the slowest game in the whole wide world.
It could be an awful slow game. We'll be pushing the 4-hour barrier on that one. Bad enough they're getting out of hand now, 3.5-hour game.
Lorentz really does take his time.
Like I say, consistently taking 17 and 18 seconds once he receives the ball, Brad. And again, he's been like that for a while now, we're told. And I think he uses as much to his advantage as he does to keep his concentration in the ball game. And again, now he hasn't controlled his breaking ball at all whatsoever. And if that happens, we could start seeing a heater regularly.
Well, it's 3 balls and 1 strike in the pitch. A swing and a miss by Maxner. He swung for the fence on that one. A big cut. Pushes the count full. 1 out, 1 on.
High, hard fastball. Just as we were discussing earlier in the game, boom. Way behind it. Jeff wasn't even close.
And he strikes him out.
Almost the exact same location, just a little bit farther outside that time.
Lorentz fires another one by Maxner. Maxner will have something to think about on the bench there with 2 pitches almost in the same spot. And that brings up Billy Gracie.
And here it is, and you see, almost the exact same spot. Jeff pretty well swung at about the exact same time. He didn't learn something from the second pitch, but hopefully he learned it from the third pitch for next at bat.
This is the cleanup hitter, Billy Gracie, first baseman for the Glace Bay Colonels. And the first pitch misses high. He's missed a couple of times up in that area.
I don't know if that's as much a concern to the coaching staff as him being way low. It's more of a purpose pitch, I believe.
1 ball, no strikes, 2 out here in the top of the first inning. Edmonton against Glace Bay. That evens up the count.
I tell you, that's a pitch I don't think I'd be letting go by. Belt high, right across almost the middle of the plate. Tough one to let go by. Undoubtedly, the coaching staff had to take side on to continue taking until he throws a strike.
That's inside. Well, if nothing else, the Glace Bay team has taken a lot of pitches, made Lorentz work, and actually seen a lot of pitches too, which might help them down the road.
Well, that's undoubtedly what they're counting on, possibly trying to tire him out also.
A 2-1 pitch from Lorentz. Catches the outside corner to even up the count, 2-2. Here to Billy Gracie. Gracie was 2 for 2 yesterday with a pair of singles and a walk. Had an RBI as well in the first inning run that the Colonels scored, the only run of the game for them in a 3-1 loss to Ontario. Team from Orleans.
Just got a piece of that one to save himself. Hit that off the end of the bat.
Well, I think he's smart to swing at that one. Couldn't really afford to let it go.
No, again, that's that case where you have 2 strikes in you. You have to protect the plate. That was a close pitch. You can't afford to let it go by.
That one's just rolled down the third baseline, but it's foul. Keep the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. There are still 2 out here in the top of the first inning.
Billy just threw his bat at that pitch. You see here, he just throws his bat at it. Good view from up top, and you'll see he just threw his bat at it.
Lorentz is trying to throw that changeup, and he's missing. He's not following through.
He may have thrown 1 strike with it so far this game.
One thing's for sure, if he continues to miss with it, Glace Bay's got some sort of a chance. But if he can throw that in there for strikes, they're in deep trouble. And he gets Billy Gracie to end the inning.
Fouls that one off into the catcher's glove for strike 3, and voila.
There,
2 Ks and a flyout.
no runs, no hits, and no errors. And at the end of one, it's still 0-0. See if we can pick up a replay of that strikeout.
Nice swing by Billy. Nice stride, straight forward, as you can see. Good extension with his arms. Good follow through. Just got a piece of it. Just missed it by a fraction. But that was good mechanical.
I understand we have the standings. You can go through them there, Bob, quickly.
You see the Trail team, who I had as the pre-tournament favor, up top at 3-0. They're looking pretty good and almost pretty well guaranteed themselves a possible playoff spot now. Orleans, Ontario sitting at 2-0, looked pretty good. They weren't overly impressive against Stony Creek, but they certainly looked well yesterday. Prairies, Edmonton, who we're looking at right now, have been rained out twice. We've only seen them the one game. Both Glace Bay, Stony Creek, and Quebec, Sherbrooke, Quebec, all 3 at 0-2, and none of them 3 teams can afford another loss. One more loss would pretty well eliminate them from any chance at making it to the final on championship game Saturday.
So, after the round-robin portion of the tournament, which is what we're in now, every team plays everybody else, one game. What happens then?
Top 2 teams, simple as that, play off against each other.
And that's the championship.
That's the championship. We get ourselves into a situation of tiebreakers. They play games. They don't go at the run for and against routine. It occurred out in Edmonton last year where I think there was one team at 4-1, and then a few teams at 3-2, including Toronto High Park and Glace Bay Colonels. So they had to have a tiebreaker game to determine who would play the final championship game.
Leadoff batter for Confederation card, number 30.
Pitcher today for Glace Bay is Jeff Maxner. He's going to pick up his motion.
Jeff has a nice, basic Little League pitching motion, complete pitching motion. Nice follow through, good high kick. Jeff has been fairly successful during the tournament to date, including 2 wins, 13-0 over Northside and 12-0 against North Sydney in the districts, and he won his only start in the provincials against East Suburban 7-0.
Well, he's thrown 2 balls here to Jared Powley, the shortstop for the Edmonton squad. Powley will be followed by Trevor Deeks and Tom Zaviduck. He goes 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes, no out here in the bottom of the first inning. The Edmonton half. Edmonton team out of Federation Park in Edmonton. And they're representing the Prairies here today.
Back-to-back years for them. They were the host team last year, so.
There's Jeff Maxner, the Glace Bay pitcher. Fires a strike, but he misses with the next pitch, and that puts Jared Powley down to first base to lead it off here. That's not what he was looking to do.
Certainly not. Glace Bay has got to get off to a good start. They're so far very disappointed in their performance here at the 1990 Nationals, and putting the leadoff runner on in the first inning after a dismal top half is not a good start.
This is Maxner trying to Steve Gillard, the catcher. Ball 1.
Just a tad high. Wasn't a bad pitch that time, just a tad high.
Maxner played third base yesterday. And Gillard was the right fielder, so a whole new battery in there for the Glace Bay Colonels.
Yeah, well, Jeff was the one we were getting on a little bit about getting caught flat-footed on the bunch down at third base, but later discussing it, apparently the pitcher for Glace Bay is
There's a
supposed
shot right to the center fielder. Only had to take 2 steps in, and that's a fly out.
Definitely hit on a rope, but as I was saying, the Glace Bay pitcher will cover the third base side as they've set up, and the first baseman covers the bunt on the first base side if there's a runner on second base. So that's the way Glace Bay set it.
The pitch to Trevor Deeks.
Nice follow through with the stride, straight stepping towards the pitcher. Good follow through, good extension with the arms, and hit the rope right out to center fielder Gary Smith.
And that brings up Tom Zaviduck, third baseman here for the Prairie team. He squares around to bunt. It takes ball one. Pushes the count even, 1-1. Darren Van Owen is on deck. He's the catcher. As Maxner deals. Right two. Good hard fastball right down the pipe.
Seems to have a little bit of natural movement on it. It turns just as it's reaching the plate.
One down, one out. Here for Edmonton, a little bump in front of the plate. Maxner picks it up, goes to second. They get the out as Ricky Kelly hangs on. Kelly, the second baseman, and they get the fielder's choice.
Good heads-up play by Jeff Maxner. Takes a look at second base to see if he has a play. Sees he has a play and makes it.
You were right. It was a great play.
You see here, he takes a quick look at second base, sees he has a play, makes the throw because he has plenty of time to still make that throw at first in the event he doesn't have a play at second. Get him by a good 2 feet.
That brings up Darren Van Owen, number 44. Check swings there. For ball one. Ball a little bit high. He's a pretty big kid.
Like he's about 5'6", 5'7", maybe even more.
Van Owen, the catcher. Maxner hits the inside corner. Super pitch.
Excellent pitch. That one's almost unhittable. Right at the knees on the inside black. That's a very tough pitch to hit.
2 down, 1 out. The 1-1 pitch. Maxner just misses inside. Owen, pretty gutty to take that one.
Again, tough pitch to hit. No doubt Darren is looking for a pitch that he can drive himself. He's only got 1 strike on him, so he has the opportunity to be a little picky.
Another ball pushes the count to 3 balls and 1 strike on Darren Van Owen.
Just being their cleanup hitter, I don't think the take sign is on.
Right two. The ball's dropped by catcher Gillard. And Tom Zavaduck scampers down to second base.
See that pitch again. I think it's just a tad low. Again, this is an impossible pitch for... Crosses the plate possibly at the knees for a strike, but again, that's an impossible pitch for Darren to be hit. Well, not impossible, but certainly can't drive a pitch such as that.
There's another foul ball. Keeps the count full. 2 down, 1 on. The runner is in scoring position. It's Tom Zavaduc.
With a full count on him, he has to be careful. He's got to protect the plate with them 2 strikes. And again, that was a close pitch, too close to take, so you got to be swinging away.
We're here in the bottom of the first inning. Glace Bay in the field against Edmonton. And Jeff Maxner catches the outside corner with a little slow curve to end the inning.
One of those curveballs that start 2 feet outside and come back to a foot outside and catch the black.
A little backdoor curve. And that ends the first inning. The score's 0-0 on. No runs there, no hits, and no errors.
We'll see the pitch here, how she starts outside and comes and catches the black. Excellent pitch. Freezes Darren right in his shoes. Good follow through. See that? Starting way outside, and here she comes back. Boom. Catches the black. Strike 3, no doubt about it.
So we'll go into the top of the second inning with Jason Lawrence back on the hill. Lawrence, the pitcher who struck out everybody in a game in the districts.
Yeah, we didn't go over Jason's record. This is his 6th game during the tournament to date. Of course, he had that district game, 22-0 over Jasper, the 18K performance in 6 innings. Also in the districts, he beat Millwoods in an exciting contest, apparently, for the championship match, 1-0. From there, they went to the provincials in a 6-inning game, beat Calgary Northwest 21-1. Then loses in a 5-inning affair to Red Deer, Alberta, 3-0, but comes back August 2nd to win the clinching championship game, also against Red Deer, 2-0. So it shows Edmonton's got some pretty good defense in the tournament. Up until the Nationals, they'd only given up the 4 runs total in 5 ball games. And that's with Jason pitching.
Well, they'll be up against Robert Piercy, Chris White, and Jody Pilling, the 5, 6, 7 hitters for the Glace Bay Colonels here in the top of the 2nd inning.
Total to date, Edmonton is 11 wins, 1 loss, and Glace Bay is 8 wins, 2 losses. Both those losses occurring here.
Lawrence gets ready to start us off here in the 2nd inning.
Leadoff batter for Glace Bay in the 2nd inning. Number 11, the shortstop, Robert Piercy.
This is the shortstop, Robert Piercy. And he takes ball 1.
Good
Piercy
hit.
yesterday 0 for 3.
That was a good pitch. A little high.
Did a little bit of everything. Had a ground out, a fly out, and reached first on a fielder's choice. That's a big strike on the fastball. Piercy completely stood up there. The 1-1 pitch. And that's foul. Bunt attempt is foul. Lawrence really taking his time out there.
Yeah, we're going to get the clock going on him and take a look at this, see if he may be pushing this 20-second limit rule here. Good thing we're going to see that on the replay. Good basic bunt. Take a look at his left foot outside the batter's box. Good thing that ball wasn't fair because he possibly could have been called out.
Batter's box looks a little bit narrow to me, but I guess it's been measured.
Yeah, Little League batter's box. A little small.
Piercy drives the count to 2-2. No outs here. This is the leadoff batter in the top of the 2nd inning for the Glace Bay Colonels. Glace Bay in the red pants and Edmonton in the blue. And that's strike 3. Piercy's out of there. And that's the 3rd strikeout for Jason Lawrence.
That last pitch, 20 seconds, .42. As you can see, he's taking
Batting number 6, the right fielder,
pretty
Chris
weak
White.
swing by Robert. Didn't have good extension with his arms and was certainly a little late.
Piercy seemed to step in the bucket there a bit as he stepped towards 3rd base.
Yeah.
Lawrence misses again with the changeup. I'm starting to see a little bit of a pattern here, Bob. He comes with a changeup on the first pitch an awful lot.
Yeah, that pattern will change shortly, though.
Chris White here, the right fielder for Glace Bay, didn't play yesterday.
Just shy of 17 seconds that time.
And he's walking around the mound again. Somebody should light a fire under him.
Well, it's his style. It's certainly the way that he's pitched, certainly in House League and through the districts and provincials, and he's not going to change now.
And that one misses upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. This is Chris White, the right fielder for Glace Bay. He'll be followed by Jody Pilling, yesterday's pitcher and today's 3rd baseman, who is on deck.
Really extended that time, 23 seconds exactly.
That evens up the count, so he's pushing that limit every time, basically.
Well, you'll see what he's doing. He's taking a little longer after he throws the ball than he does after a strike. Really thinking about what he's doing out there. Later on in the game, we'll take a look and see if he's sped up or slowed down.
Probably will have a lot to do with how they're doing.
No doubt it will.
Lawrence wanders around the mound again. He's going to dig a trench. He keeps running the same pattern. Out full to Chris White. And the pitch. Walks him. White wasn't sure himself. He stood in there for a second, waiting for the call from a plate umpire, George Benton.
Oh, good heads-up thinking here. They got him. Good heads-up thinking, though. Tried to steal a base, taking advantage of a little bit of lack of concentration to keep an eye on the runner. Weren't successful at it, but that's what Glace Bay is going to have to do, try and generate a little excitement today by, and now you'll see the Edmonton coach coming out to discuss that with his pitcher. Remember, keep your eye on the base runners. You can't take your eye off them.
That'll bring up Jody Pilling. There are 2 outs. Lawrence got himself out of a little bit of a jam there, getting the out at second base.
Well, Jason actually created the jam and fortunately got himself out of it.
Third baseman, number 16,
Of course, if successfully stolen that, that would have been a big uplift for the Glace Bay team to possibly get a run on the board in the top of the second.
Pilling swings through the first pitch, a high, hard fastball from Jason Lawrence, the Edmonton pitcher today. Lawrence already with 3 strikeouts here in the top of the second. That's strike 2. He's way up now.
High fastball, low fastball, moving around the plate just nicely. He's got good control of the fastball. He still hasn't got control of the changeup.
We may see the change right here. Probably not.
Oh, I think maybe Jody might have been thinking the change was coming also, but oh, is that a good fastball on the outside corner of the plate, knee high.
And that ends the inning. 2 strikeouts for Lawrence.
We'll take a look at this one. This is a tough pitch to hit also because there's no way you can get around on it whatsoever. Any type of hit here would just roll it to the right side of the infield. Had thoughts about going after it. Certainly should have.
I think his thoughts were too late, and he realized he better just lay off and hope he gets a good call.
The umpire got some dust in his eye.
That ends the top of the second for Glace Bay. They come up with no runs, no hits, and no errors. The score still 0-0 here at Optimus Park in Stony Creek. You're watching the 1990 Canadian Little League Championships on Rogers Niagara, Cable 14. I'm Brad Riome along with Bob Barlow, bringing you the action. We're going into the bottom of the second. The Edmonton squad will bring up Jason Lawrence, the pitcher, Nick Gerke, and Ben Bagnall, the center fielder, in an attempt to put some runs on the board here and give Lawrence a little bit of a cushion to work with.
We'll put the timer on Jeff this inning and just see what he's like. We haven't heard any comments about him at all, or Jason, I should say. So we'll see if there is much of a difference. Jason, Jeff, I got it all mixed up. Jeff, we got to write that down. Jeff Maxton.
Jeff Maxner, the pitcher today for Glace Bay, played third yesterday. Made a couple of good plays, although, as you mentioned, was a little flat-footed once in a while on some bunt attempts by the Ontario team from Orleans.
Yeah, got caught flat-footed, but discussing it later with a couple of the people from out there, they seem to think that's a set play for him to stay there, as long as there's a runner at second base. I still don't agree with it, though.
This is Jason Lawrence.
Confederation Park, the pitcher, number 33, Jason Lawrence.
And that's fouled off for strike 1. The outfielders are playing a little bit strange here, guarding both lines.
See, Jason is certainly late on this pitch. But he has a good step forward, good extension with the arm, good follow-through, good concentration.
That evens it up 1-1.
There's your difference right there, Jeff, 10 seconds. 10.72 seconds. So you're talking 10 to 12 seconds difference in the release of these two pitchers.
Maxner deals the 1-1 pitch. And it's popped up down the line. That's going to be out of play. Down the third baseline. Foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Jason Lawrence, number 33, the Edmonton pitcher. We've heard so much about this week.
Just seen a shot at the left field foul area. There's about 20 feet on each side of the park to make a play. Jason certainly didn't get around on that one at all, but it shows he's got some decent power.
That's rolled just foul down the first baseline, so maybe these outfielders aren't positioned just haphazardly. That 1 ball ripped down the third baseline foul, and then another one down the first baseline foul. Both outfielders starting the line.
Well, they either think he's not going to get around it at all, or he's definitely going to get around it.
And there's another foul ball over the third base side.
That's set behind Jeff's pitching motion. He's going in out on the plate. He hasn't thrown a pitch down the middle of the plate yet.
Lawrence still riding a 1-2 count. And that one misses. It's 2-2. No outs. Lawrence the leadoff hitter here. 5th place hitter on the Edmonton squad. And leading off here in the bottom of the second. Score still 0-0.
Definitely keeping the ball away from Jason. They don't want him hitting anything up the power alley and hurting him. Another thing to take a look at is if he does hit one up the power alley, Jason doesn't have a lot of speed. They could still possibly cut it off and cut him down at second base.
That one booted. What happened there, Bob?
Third baseman cut in front of the shortstop. That's Robert Piercy at shortstop. Jody cut in front of him. Third baseman to try and make that play, and took a look up to make the throw before he had the ball. We'll see it here in the replay, and just flat misses it off his glove.
First baseman, number 66, Nick Gerke.
Okay, what we're going to see is Jason hustling his best down the first base line. You can see he's giving it all he's got. It shows the importance of hustle because of that error made down at the base.
That puts Lawrence down at first. This is Nick Gerke, the first baseman for Edmonton, and the second place hitter in the bottom of the second inning. The ball is lost there by catcher Steve Gillard, but he keeps his wits about him and manages to come up with it before Lawrence can take advantage. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nick Gerke. And Maxner, that could be trouble. And second baseman Ricky Kelly comes over and snags that ball in behind first base. A tough play.
Nice little play. I was just thinking of something really interesting there because Jason at first didn't take a step off the bag at all. You'll see that on the replay. Jason stood right on the bag, and if that ball dropped it, they surely would have had an out at second base here regardless. But nice play anyways.
Would have been a little tricky to try and let it drop and turn 2, but...
Well, they never would have turned 2 simply because Nick was hustling down the line.
There goes Jason. And he's in there easily. Lawrence is safe at second on the wild pitch. Remember, you're not allowed to lead off until the ball crosses the plate here in Little League, so consequently you see very few straight steals, but an awful lot of base runners advancing on wild pitches and pass balls.
There's not too many speedsters down here. Stony Creek's got a couple of speedsters that may steal the odd base. Chris Carter is one that comes to mind. But no, you're right, you don't see too many straight steals.
This is Ben Bagnall. Bagnall, the center fielder for Edmonton. And hitting 7th today. And it evens up the count, 1-1. Just 1 out, 1 on.
Just in the outside corner, catching the bottom of the knees.
It's still 0-0 here at Optimus Park in Stony Creek. That's another ball, 2 balls, 1 strike. Game today between Glace Bay Colonels in the red and Edmonton's Confederation Park in the blue. In the bottom of the second. That one misses upstairs. 3 balls, 1 strike to Ben Bagnall. Bagnall does a weak swing there, pushes the count full.
What he's going after that for? That was down the dirt. A little over anxious, no doubt.
Maxner sets the deal. And misses upstairs and walks Ben Bagnall.
That's not a major concern with the number 8 and 9 hitters coming up. That just sets up a force around the infield now. Not too much of a concern.
Brings up Jordan Smith, the left fielder. Smith, the 8th place hitter. Got 2 on, 1 out. As Jason Lawrence is down at second base. And Ben Bagnall at first. He just walked.
12, the left fielder, Jordan Smith.
See this pitch, it's just a bit high in the strike zone. Nice follow through though by Jay. Nice pitch entirely.
Not a bad pitch at all.
No, just a bit high.
Just a touch high. And the first pitch will come into Jordan Smith from Jeff Maxner. And he misses for ball 1. As Edmonton is threatening here in the bottom of the second inning. 2 on, 1 out. Maxner's in a bit of a hole. And he gets a break there. Oh! First base umpire Steve Meyer says he did not go around. Jordan Smith did not go around.
I think Steve got caught napping on that pitch because I don't think there was too much up. But the key word there is intent. Has to have intent. There's Steve there. He may not have seen the intent.
Well, there's Henry Boudelier, the manager of the Glace Bay Colonels, coming out to chat with home plate umpire George Benton.
This is probably a mistake questioning this call. We'll see that on the replay. The key here is intent, okay? Did Jordan intend to hit this ball? We'll get a good look at it here. To me, he was. Bat is crossed, the plane of the plate. I don't think it was him trying to get out of the way of the pitch. I think he was swinging intent to hit the ball before he attempted to get out of the way. So, I don't know.
The second ball, the third ball, excuse me. Count 3-0 here. To Jordan Smith, who dodged a bullet there. That one catches the inside corner.
Yeah. I think the shadow caught it.
There's 2 on,
Maybe
1
give him
out.
that one.
Here in the bottom of the second inning.
Strike 2.
Edmonton threatening, but the count goes full. Jeff Maxner deals. And that gets away from the catcher, it's Steve Gillard. But to no further damage as Jordan Smith walks. And the runners advance. Lawrence now on third. And Ben Bagnall moves over to second.
Take a look at that final pitch. See, it's not even really close to a strike. Way down and out. Off the foot of catcher Steve Gillard.
That brings up Byron Scott as the battery of Gillard and Maxner is out talking to coach and manager Henry Boudelier, the Glace Bay Colonels.
Confederation card number 45, Max Fry.
Just as much a pep talk and a couple of reminders than anything. There's no instruction going on, I don't think, at this level by this time. But certainly he may have noticed a small flaw in Jeff's pitching delivery.
This is Byron Scott, the right fielder for Edmonton. And he takes ball 1. It's only 1 out. The bases are loaded. And the top of the Edmonton order is due up with Jared Powley on deck. Byron Scott fouls one down the first base line. A little slow on that swing. Bob?
Yeah, certainly way late on that one. He decided a little late to swing at that, so consequently fouling it out.
Maxner gets set. The 1-1 pitch. And that's rolled towards shortstop. They're coming to the plate. And they make the play. Robert Piercy fires to Steve Gillard. to register the second out here in the bottom of the second inning. But Scott is safe on the fielder's choice, and the bases remain loaded.
See that on the replay. They definitely had to make the play at the plate, no doubt about it, because I don't think they're going to score a lot of runs. You see the bat in the way there. Now, it should be the home plate umpire's job, I think, to try and get that bat out of there if he has the time. He really didn't have the time in that, but that could cause a serious injury, having that bat laying on the baseline right there.
Well, that puts Ben Bagnall at third. Time is called on the field. Ben Bagnall at third, Jordan Smith at second, and Byron Scott now down at first. 2 outs, top of the order. This is Jared Powley. Powley walked, was erased on a fielder's choice in the first. And he takes ball 1 here. There's a Edmonton threat in this 0-0 ball game. Strike 1, evens it up, 1-1, 2 down.
Tad low, but George's been calling him low today, so he's been consistent about it. I think Jared started the game off with a base on balls, so.
There's another roller at the shortstop, Piercy. Piercy comes up, fires over for the out. There's Gracie, hangs on at first. And that ends the threat here as Powley grounds out. And their score remains 0-0 as no runs came in there and no hits, but 1 error. Third baseman Jody Pilling.
Well, they kept their no runs intact. Jeff, out of this is the 5th game he's pitched during the tournament to Williamsport, and only the last game versus Trail down here in Stony Creek had he given up a run in a 7-2 loss. He hadn't given up a run in 18 previous innings, as we see that on the replay.
Well, Jason
Jared
Lawrence
went down and got that pitch down around the knee level and had a nice level swing. Went with the pitch, grounded out to shortstop.
You can see the intent there on the pitcher.
Good solid
Maxim's
throw.
face.
Good solid throw. And they get him by a long step.
That'll bring up Ricky Kelly, Steve Gillard, and Steve McNeil in the top half of the 3rd inning here. Optimist Park in Stony Creek. This is the 1990 Canadian Little League Championships. And our game today, Edmonton against the Glace Bay Colonels. It's 0-0 here as we're a third of the way through the game. These games 6 innings long. Unless, of course, there's extra innings, which we've seen once already.
And we were commenting on how, yesterday we were commenting on how we hadn't had a bad game during the tournament yet. And unfortunately, the first one occurred yesterday with Trail beating up on Sherbrooke, Quebec, 12-1. The second game yesterday. 3rd game last night, Edmonton and Stony Creek being rained out.
Leadoff batter for Glace Bay.
Strike 1 to Ricky Kelly. Kelly, the 8th place hitter, leading off the bottom of the, or excuse me, the top of the 3rd.
See this pitch again on the replay. It's again good, powerful release by Jason. A little bit low. Should not have been attempting to bunt that, but the bunt was on. Consequently, the intent creates a strike.
Lawrence has racked up 4 Ks already through 2 innings. That one's rolled to 3rd. Oh, and the 3rd baseman can't get it.
Tough play, very tough play. I don't know how the official scorer is going to make a score decision on that one, but very tough play for the 3rd baseman, Tom. And I think we're getting that one scored a hit. Yeah, we're going to have that one scored a hit, justifiably so. That was a very tough play for Tommy down at 3rd base, and we'll see that again. He just throws the bat at it, very late bunt, bounces off the plate, high bouncer. Even if he had made the glove play, it would have been an awful tough throw, and they probably may not have even got Ricky down at 1st base. He's got some good speed.
There's Tom Zavadu down at 3rd base. Couldn't come up with that in-between hop on a tough play, and so Ricky Kelly's down at 1st, leading off the top of the 3rd here for Glace Bay. And Steve Gillard, the catcher, and 9th place hitters up. This could be a rally.
Just thinking that was our first base hit of the day also. So I guess 1 base hit for the day is a rally.
Well, it's the first time they've got the leadoff man on.
Another late bunt. I think what they're doing is trying to freeze the infielders with that play. Try and make something happen. They want to make sure they get that runner over to second base.
Of course, the top of the order, and Steve McNeil is on deck. Looks like they're going to play bunt here with Steve Gillard. And misses, and the runner goes. Kelly's safe at second. No throw. And a wild pitch by Jason Lorenz. That's square around bunt. And looked like it threw him off a bit. Gillard was
Certainly
square
that
around
time
well ahead.
He scored around right in front. I don't think he ever had any intent to bunt on that one with 2 strikes. I think that one, again, was just to try and get to draw the infield in. They're drawing the first baseman in. Third baseman's coming in a few steps, but I don't think there's any intent to bunt on this pitch. Oh, I stand corrected. That's strike 3 then.
Gillard is out. As he squares around a bunt with 2 strikes. Couldn't get his bat on the ball.
Highly unusual to see that, because if you happen to get a piece of it bunted foul, you're automatically out.
Number 14.
Certainly should not have been going after that one, as that would have been ball 2.
Most definitely, but that brings up the top of the order. 1 down, 1 on. That's a big cut by Steve McNeil. McNeil, the left fielder, flew out to right field. And his first at bat to lead off this game. Lorenz deals. And that's the second strike. 0-2 now to Stephen McNeil.
Back-to-back pitches. He's way late with the swing. The first inning, he was way late on all 3 swings. On the third, when he managed to get contact and hit it out to left field for a flyout.
We'll see what he comes with here. Last time he had 0-2, he came right back with the fastball to nail down the strikeout. And he does it again, but it's popped up. Well hit. But the center fielder, Ben Bagnall, corrals it.
Nice sacrifice fly there. That's the first pitch. That's the first batter today to get around on a fastball from Jason Lorenz, and I tell you something, that shows you how much heat he had on it, because that was a nice lazy swing, and you'll see how far it went. She flew about 190 feet.
That was a well-hit ball by Steve McNeil. McNeil 2 flyouts in this game. Brings up Gary Skinner. There it is.
Nice, easy swing. Look at that. He got under the ball. He didn't even hit it solidly, and you've seen how far it flew. So that tells you how much pop is on Jason's fastball today. He's been out in center field and made that nice play.
The outfield switching around here.
Again, because they don't expect the batter to get around on the pitch.
Skinner walked his first time up. He's a second-place hitter and center fielder for the Glace Bay Colonels.
Gary was late on that swing also.
Well, and they've got him played right, especially the center fielder swung well over into left center, and the left fielder was playing quite shallow. And a bunt attempt.
Yeah, if he can get around on a pitch and get it down in the right field, there's a lot of room down there for the ball to rattle around. He can make it into a triple quite easily. He is getting around on the pitch.
0-2 to Skinner. Here in the top of the third, it's still 0-0. In this game between Glace Bay and Edmonton's Confederation Park. And he blows it by him. Nice pitch, inside fastball.
What a heater that one was.
And Skinner's down on strikes. And there are no runs scored in that inning, but there was 1 hit for Glace Bay. And no errors. And we still got a 0-0 game.
What a smoker this one is. Watch this one here. What a beautiful follow through. Nice pitch with a lot of heat on it. Inside corner at the knees. No way he's going to hit this one. Look at this. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Little downward motion, little natural downward motion at the end of the pitch.
That brings up Edmonton to try and get something going and get a run on this board. It's still 0-0. We're going into the bottom of the third. Edmonton will put up second-place hitter Trevor Deeks, Tom Zavaduk, and Darren Van Owen. That's the meat of their order. 2-3-4.
2-3-4 hitters coming up. Edmonton certainly looking to get a run or two on the board here now. their buddies up in the hill.
Some of the crowd here at Optimist Park in Stony Creek.
They're not on our property, by the way. We don't advocate drinking in the ballpark.
We're going to take a quick station break and be back with the bottom of the third inning in just a moment.
About a year ago, Michael started complaining of nausea, fatigue, and blurred vision. Fortunately, he complained to the right person, his doctor. Diagnosing his diabetes wasn't difficult, but controlling it meant changing his lifestyle. Now he gets plenty of exercise and eats a proper diet. Today, he's feeling better and has taken inches off his waistline. More important, he's added years to his life. Diabetes, catch it early before it takes years off yours.
You're back to Optimist Park in Stony Creek in the 1990 Canadian Little League Championships. We're in the bottom of the third inning. It's 0-0 as Edmonton is trying to score a run and get something going here in this game between them and the Glace Bay Colonels. A very key game for both sides. This is Trevor Deeks, the second place hitter and second baseman for Edmonton. Taking strike two.
He flew out his first at bat to Gary Skinner up in left center field. He, I think, was the only hitter who's gotten around on any pitch from Jeff so far.
He fouls that one off, but
Just got a
stays
piece of it.
alive. Trevor Deeks looking to get it going here for Edmonton in the bottom of the third inning. Maxner looks in and deals the 0-2 pitch. And he gets Deeks swinging.
There was a breaking ball that started 1 foot outside and went to 2 feet outside. Really fooled him on that one.
Batting number 77, the third baseman, Tom Navadir.
We'll see her on the replay here how this changeup or curveball starts outside and continues going farther outside.
This is Tom Zavaduke, and he swings. That's going in the gap. That could be 2. That's all the way back to the fence. Zavaduke rounds first.
He's going to go for 3.
Make second. He's going for 3, and the throw comes all the way. It's going to be close. Save.
What a gun out in right field. I tell you, if he could have took a little height off that throw, they would have nailed him.
That was Chris White out in right field.
What a gun. I haven't seen a throw like that down here in years.
But that is a triple for Tom Zavaduke.
We're going to take a look at Tom sliding into third base here, and you're going to see a perfectly executed slide. See this? Both arms up. Down he comes. Boom.
The ball just a little bit up the line, but still an excellent throw from deep, deep in right center field.
He was going for 3 right away, Brad. He took off, and he was like a shot around those bases.
He's a big kid. He has big, long strides, and he's standing on third base with 1 out. And a strike ball thrown right there to Darren Van Owen. Owen, the fourth place hitter for Edmonton. He struck out his first time up to end the first inning. And that one's way high. One ball, 1 strike to Van Owen.
Close
2
pitch.
balls, 1
Very
strike.
close.
Van Owen up in the count here. The lead run in this 0-0 game is standing on third base in the person of Tom Zavaduke. That's fouled back.
You can certainly see they're looking at throwing the high fastball because the catcher isn't getting down into his full crouch. We'll see if he stands up again. No, this time he stays down. Consequently, you see the low breaking ball.
Nice play there by the catcher Steve Gillard to keep that ball in front of him and not allow base runner Tom Zavaduke to advance.
See that breaking ball just broke in the dirt.
And Maxner fires the ball right past Darren Van Owen. That's his second strikeout of the day.
But that's what he's got to do if he wants to keep that runner down at third base.
There's 2 out now here in the bottom of the third. Maxner has to reach back and see if he can put Jason Lawrence out. Lawrence reached on an error to the third baseman, Jody Pilling, back to lead off the second inning.
Well, that was a key K, Brad, because now the infield can drop back to normal position play to make the play down at first base. That K allows them to do that. They had to come in.
They're going to walk Jason Lawrence.
Probably a smart move here.
I see a catcher's balk, I'm afraid, and I'm not seeing anyone call it. Catcher not allowed to stand out there.
Actually, I'd have to get a good close look at that. We didn't put the catcher's box in down there. The Little League catcher's box is a little bit bigger, but I think he could be out of it nonetheless. Is our box that big? Yeah, I think we've got conflicting reports that we have.
Serious mistake here. As Jason Lawrence goes down to first base.
All right, they were trying to pull a fast one there, and they're not going to get away with it. We were discussing earlier in the week about the re-entry rule with pinch runners to allow more players to play in the ball game. You can pinch run for a runner, and that runner doesn't necessarily leave the ball game. They wanted to pinch run for Jason down at first base for the second time this game. Oh. Are they going to allow it? I think we're going to end up in. I think, you know, Brad, I'm telling you right now, I would bet my house that we're going to have an argument after this half inning is over, because you can't run for the same runner twice in one game. So the way I see this, and I think the home plate umpire reads it the same way, George Benton, and now we see the coach out again. Coming out? Maybe not. The way I read that, that would put Jason Lorenz out of the ball game.
Well, I must confess, I don't recall Lawrence coming out for a pinch runner his first time on.
Well, the official score is confirming it. Now they're discussing the rule again. Umpire Wes Schneier from Dundas discussing it with Jason. Actually, now I'm told what they're doing is giving Jason heck for throwing his helmet. I guess he was a little upset for being taken out of the ball game now, and Wes trying to explain it to him that we don't allow kids to throw helmets around here.
And Henry Boudelier will come out and talk to his battery. A little bit of trouble here in the bottom of the third. A lot of talking. 2 strikeouts for the 2 outs for Edmonton. It's Trevor Deeks and Darren Van Owen both struck out, but there's a Tom Zavaduke on third, and Jason Lawrence has issued the intentional walk, and the pinch runner is down at first.
Actually, I don't know who he is down at first base now, whether he's a pinch runner or whether he's our new pitcher for the ball game. Or
looks like number 22, Matt Mitchell.
Now we're going to have another discussion about this, and I can see this coming, Brad. They've just called Tournament Director Bill Tuff to the field to discuss it. Umpire-in-chief for District 1, Mark Baxter, who's umpiring at second base today, is also discussing, along with Steve Meyer and Wes Schneier, and they seem to be satisfied.
That brings up Nick Gerke.
We'll get back to the ball game and find out what's happening when this half inning is over.
As Jeff Maxner deals to Gerke. Wide, ball 1.
Now batting number 66, the first baseman, Nick Gerke.
Gerke, the first baseman, flew out to second in his last at bat. He's under the gun here with the lead run. The first run of the ball game, down on third base in the person of Tom Zavaduke. Gerke fouls that one back to even the count, 1-1. Maxwell deals. And the runner's coming in. That's Savaduk, and he's safe. As Mitchell goes down to second base.
Well, Jeff got that all-important strikeout to try and hold the runner down at third base, but gives up the run on the pass ball anyways. It's unfortunate, and that breaks the scoreless tie. The time on that pitch, Jeff's still in the same motion. He's at 10.5 seconds still, so he hasn't sped up or slowed down yet this game.
That breaks the tie as Zavaduk comes in to score the only run of this ball game. It's 1-0 Edmonton over the Glace Bay Colonels. And there's still a runner in scoring position with Nick Gerke up. Gerke rolls one back to the pitcher. And Maxner flips over to Billy Gracie at first base for the out. And that ends the inning, but not before Tom Zavaduk scores after his triple to break the scoreless tie here in the bottom of the third.
Now we're going to take a look at our new pitcher here in the ball game. We got coming in here.
There was 1 run scored in that inning on 1 hit and no errors. And Zavaduk will come in to pitch now for Jason Lawrence. So there's going to be some defensive changes out there as Zavaduk was playing third, and there's nobody standing at third right now.
Gentlemen will be around to collect your donations. Please give
Looks like Brock Wilson is going to go in to play third.
Brock will take Jason's spot in the batting order, no doubt. This is disappointing. I don't know if Jason was taken out of the game intentionally by that pinch runner or accidentally by that pinch runner.
Well, they may be wanting to save him later in the tournament. But in
That
a
may be,
0-0 game, you think it's an awfully strange thing to do.
That's what I'm wondering about. But irregardless, in Little League play, at tournament play, you cannot pitch back-to-back games. So by throwing the first pitch already this game, he's ineligible for next game. So whether he throws 3 innings, 1 pitch, or 6 innings, he can't pitch next game, but still is eligible for the third game for Edmonton down the line. John Machista, local Optimist Club member, pushing the programs. Only $1, he says. Spend your money.
Changes for Confederation Park. Now playing third base, number 24, Brock Wilson.
So Brock Wilson will go down to third base.
Pitching, number 77,
Tom Zavaduk is in to pitch.
Well, this certainly is a possible bright spot for Glace Bay Colonels, only being down by 1 run. And actually, they could have got out of that with no runs. But they got a chance maybe to be back in the ball game now.
That's for sure. This is still close. It's 1-0 for Edmonton over Glace Bay. This is the 1990 Canadian Little League Championships. We're at Optimist Park in Stony Creek. I'm Brad Riome along with Bob Barlow, bringing you the action. We're going into the top of the 4th inning as Glace Bay makes some attempt to get back into this game. It's 1-0 against them. And the first pitch from Zavaduk is strike 1 to Jeff Maxner, the pitcher for Glace Bay. Maxner struck out his first time up, and he rips one past the first baseman out into right field.
Good heads-up play by Chris White out in right field, hustling, getting on top of that ball to cut that down for a single only. And there's your difference between the 2 Confederation Park pitchers. Jason, we had timed upwards of 23 seconds between pitches. Tom, 8.68 seconds.
Zavaduk may want to go back to taking some time. And he was just roughed up for a quick single. This is Billy Gracie, the 4th place hitter. Gracie struck out as well his first time up. Glace Bay may see a little light here. And another one rolled to second baseman Kelly. Kelly juggles.
Got him.
Makes the out at first to Billy Gracie. Kelly juggled the
Boy,
ball
was that
in his
close.
attempt to go to second, but comes up with the out.
Boy, was that close. I'd like to take a look at that one again. That was close. Fans getting all over umpire Steve Meyer. They're already all over him down there about that check swing. We're going to take a look at that, I think, on the replay.
The shortstop, Robert Piercy.
See Rick Kelly there, wanting to go to second, but he can't come up with it too clean, so he spins. And fires.
See if we can get a good look at this. Oh. There's no such thing as tie goes to the runner. I love it when a coach comes out and argues tie goes to the runner. He either beat the throw or he didn't. We'll say that was an awful close play down at first base.
I don't think it was close at all, Bob.
We'll take another look at that one. Oh, his foot appears to be on the bag. Foot appeared to be on the bag before the ball was in the glove. Steve may want to leave the park by the Edmonton Glace Bay or the Edmonton Confederation Park side tonight.
That's a ball. Goes to 3-0 here on Robert Piercy. Piercy, the third batter up in this inning. There's one out, one on. Jeff Maxter advanced to second there on that close play at first when Rick Kelly couldn't come up with the ball right away. Zavaduke misses, and that puts runners on first and second as Piercy goes down on the walk. That'll bring up Chris White. White walked himself in the second inning. And is only at bat so far.
Take a look at that pitch, and certainly not a bad pitch, but down and in nonetheless.
This is Chris White. White, the right fielder. A man with a golden arm.
Tom discussing going over signs with their catcher today.
White fired that long throw all the way from the fence to third base on Zavaduke's triple in the last inning. Throw was an awful good one, though not in time to get Zavaduke. He was very quickly around the bases. And that misses Zavaduke, the pitcher now, in place of starter Jason Lawrence. He's having some trouble. And the runners are going to advance on that wild pitch. A throw down to third, into left field. And the shortstop misses it as it's not cut off. Jared Powley misses. One run comes in. The second one comes in right to the plate. Safe.
Oh, my Lord, my Lord.
Unbelievable turn of events.
I don't know what Darren was thinking behind the plate. I'll tell you, first of all, he didn't even have a play at third base. That ball should not have been thrown. And the throw wasn't even close to the third baseman, closer to the shortstop, who in turn missed it, rolling out in left field where Jordan Smith, the left fielder, in turn missed it again, allowing both runners to score.
Oh, that was a scary play all around. As two runs have crossed the plate now for Glace Bay.
That could be a key play to this whole tournament for Glace Bay.
There goes Maxner
see
into
the ball.
third.
See
And the
the ball
ball
not
gets
even close.
by.
Wasn't even close. Plenty of time for Jeff to get up and hustle home.
This is Chris White. Still at the plate here. And he takes strike one on a 3-0 pitch. With one down here. There's the pitch, and it's fouled off into the parking lot. Down over first base.
Down pitch, line.
That's low. A ball four, and that puts a base runner on for the Glace Bay Colonels with one down here.
Yeah, Edmonton's in a lot of trouble now. A lot of trouble.
Looks like they have a pinch hitter. It's Jeff McClellan, pinch hitting for Jody Pilling.
Pinch hitting for Glace Bay, number 17, Jeff McClellan.
Still only one out in the top of the fourth.
McClelland 0 for 3 yesterday. Pinch hitting here for Jody Pilling, the third baseman, with 1 down and 1 on. Here in the top of the fourth inning, it's 2-1 Glace Bay over Edmonton. That one's going to get up the middle. Oh, a nice play by second baseman.
Oh,
The ball
look out.
is dropped. Nice play by Trevor Deeks, the second baseman, to come up with that ball, but he flips to Jared Powley, and Powley drops the ball. Everybody's safe.
Chris White almost made an ultimate mistake out there of overrunning second base. He almost got cut coming back. Take a look at that one on the replay. Trevor makes a nice play out at second base, backhanding this. We'll see right here, diving, nice backhanded play. Gets a composure, has plenty of time, tosses the ball to shortstop Joe, who just cannot get the handle. And there you see Chris overrunning the bag.
Number 8,
I
Bradley
don't know what he was thinking. He should have been sliding.
We have another pinch hitter here. It's Bradley Nicholson in for Ricky Kelly.
Edmonton is really rattled now.
And the pitch. That's a strike from Zavaduke. There's still but 1 out here in the top of the fourth. 2 on. 2 runs already in for Glace Bay, who've taken a 2-1 lead over Edmonton's Confederation Park. That one way high.
It's only a 2-1 ball game. The game isn't out of hand yet, but Edmonton could certainly let it get out of hand this inning if they don't do something drastic shortly.
Henry Boudelier, the Glace Bay manager, pulling out all the stops here. 2 pinch hitters in a row down towards the bottom of the Glace Bay order. And that one's upstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike to Bradley Nicholson. And Zavaduke deals. And that evens up the count, 2-2.
Two strikes on you. You can't leave your bat on the shoulders with a pitch that is over the heart of the plate, knee-high.
Nicholson with 2 walks yesterday and 3 trips. Obviously looking for another one there as the bat stays on his shoulder.
See the pitch here.
Glace Bay, number
What's the
4,
plate? Right and a half.
Rocky Ford.
3.5,
Good
knee-high.
pitch. And this is Steve Gillard. And we've got yet another pinch hitter. I've just been informed. It's Rocky Ford. Rocky Ford hitting for Steve Gillard down in the 9th spot. And that catches the outside corner for the second strike on Rocky Ford. Ford yesterday 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And he fouls that one straight back. Big cut. The score 2-1 for Glace Bay over Edmonton. They've scored their 2 runs right here in the top of the fourth. All off new pitcher Tom Zavaduke.
Strike 3.
And that's strike 3. It's all
Excellent
over.
change.
But the Glace Bay Colonels come up with 2 runs on only 1 hit. And I'm afraid to count the errors. I think there were 3 errors there.
There was more mental errors certainly than actual errors, but Glace Bay could have made that a big inning. Edmonton pulled out and for the last 2 Ks saved it. We'll go to the final strikeout. Beautiful curveball that splits the plate in half. Boom. Beautiful pitch. Certainly had Rocky stepping towards third base. Certainly not striding towards the pitcher on that one.
2 runs on 1 hit and 2 errors. Glace Bay Colonels come out to try to defend their 2-1 lead here as Edmonton sends up the bottom 3 men in their order here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's Ben Bagnall, Jordan Smith, and Byron Scott. We're likely to have some position changes here, what with all the pinch hitters.
Couple young fellas enjoying their day down here, popsicles.
Billy Gracie moves from first to third. We're still waiting for confirmation of a couple of the other changes here. We'll get them and pass them on as soon as we get them. There's the first pitch to Ben Bagnall as ball 1.
Confederation Park. Center fielder, number 42, Ben Bagnall.
That's well inside, ball 2.
Well, Jeff down the pitching mound has a new life with the lead now. Certainly would like to have a nice quick inning here to keep the momentum going for Glace Bay.
Jeff Maxner, the pitcher for Glace Bay.
But has already fallen behind the leadoff hitter. 3-1.
That's going to be a foul ball down the first baseline. And so the hitter, Ben Bagnall, will come back.
And we'll see that one. That was a strike nonetheless, so he goes after it. The fouls are out up the right field.
That count is full.
Side of the park.
That's Max Nobiles. He rolls it to the shortstop. Robert Piercy kicks it. And it looks like Bagnall will be safe on the air to the shortstop. Robert Piercy.
Routine ground ball should have been an easy play for Robert, but nonetheless, sometimes they just don't happen that way. Had it in the glove and just lost it.
That brings up Jordan Smith.
Way late with that swing.
Smith walked his last time up, reached second base, and was stranded there in the 2nd inning. And Edmonton left the bases loaded. That one punted just out in front of the plate. Maxnell picks it up, fires over. Safe at first.
Excellent bunt. Caught everybody flat-footed on Glace Bay again. That was more of a bunting for base hit than a bunting for a sacrifice. Excellent bunt. Denned it just nicely, got it off the end of the bat. Couldn't have placed it in a better place.
And it looks like the Edmonton Confederation Park team is rallying here. They're sending up their 9th place hitter. They've already got 2 on. Ben Bagnall down at second. Jordan Smith at first. Byron Scott up to the plate here. No outs. And that one misses inside. Jeff Maxner takes a look into his bench before firing the next pitch. Ooh, and it's fouled off the hand.
Hit that off his hand, that's for sure. That's a little stinger.
Scott. That one hurts.
That was a stinger. That ball broke in right on his fist.
That's Edmonton coach Rob Jamieson taking a look.
We'll see this pitch. Breaking in, ouch.
One's fouled off. The count 1-1. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. For Edmonton, they're down 2-1. And it's Jeff Maxner, heel, in the dirt. And the runners advance. The throw. Oh, he's safe. The throw a little off the bag, up a little too high, Bob. And
Well, he was a little late getting the throw down there in the first place. He got a break in the first place that when the ball got by him, it hit umpire George Benton, kept it right there for him, but he just couldn't get the handle on it and get the throw down at third in time. They had a chance to get him.
Both runners advance
You see that on the replay.
as the count goes 2-2 to Byron Scott.
There's a throw. You see they still have plenty of time, but throw a little high. Third baseman really just couldn't get her down in time.
And the subsequent pitch to Byron Scott strikes him out for the first out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Edmonton threatening, 2 runners in scoring position. Bagnall down at third, Jordan Smith at second. This is Jared Powley. They're back to the top of the order. Powley walked his first time up and grounded out to the shortstop back in the second inning. And that one is outside, ball 1.
Nice pitch nonetheless. Just a bit outside. Good setup pitch. Now we have Jared thinking a little bit.
That one gets by the catcher, who never did know where it was. Fortunately for him, though, Jeff Maxner came roaring into cover and directed him to the ball.